Hello, everybody out there on YouTube. Once again, it's the three middle-aged guys just bullshitting about nothing. Actually, not about nothing. This year, we have just finished up this week, E3 2016. We are going to bullshit about that. We're going to talk about all the bullshit attached to E3. And, you know, some of the stuff that we liked, some of the stuff we didn't. This particular video that we're going to go off right now, you know, myself, the Reverend, with
here
and Gray Mouse One, what we're going to do is that we are going to talk about the things that we liked about E3. You know, just in general, we're not going to keep it to one particular publisher, one particular party, whether it be Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. We are just going to tell you what we liked and the reasons why. With that, the floor is open, gentlemen. Who wants to go first? You're killing me with your excitement. Absolutely killing me with your excitement.
Okay, I'll go first. I think one of the games that I really enjoyed watching the demo for, and it's just simply because it's been delayed until I'm just glad, and it got delayed because of new systems coming out. I was really glad to see the demo for The Legend of Zelda, and you know, it got they really taken Zelda to a different way, different level. It's kind of a RPG style now, and I think that's a good way. I mean, just looking at the demo, and then, you know, it's a different Zelda. Link could actually fucking jump, you know, freely jump. That is, you don't have to have a spec. You don't have to have a damn.
Zelda 2, you could jump.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like.
And it was an RPG style.
You can't climb.
You didn't need to.
I know, but
That
it's nice. Yeah, you're right. It's just nice to see Zelda finally, after all the talk that the Nintendo did. I was really impressed with PlayStation this year. The God of War, that was insane. Thank you very much, God. Yes. The what was it? God, man. Another one was the Xbox. A few of us, or what is it?
Happy Few.
We happy few.
Happy Few.
That was probably the most surprising thing.
That is a weird fucking game. You got to take your joy every day, and like the trailer went on, and they, you know, oh, come to a party. Let's hit this pinata. And the guy didn't take his joy, and he saw what really happened. There was a dead rat on the table, and these people were eating it, and I was like, oh, no.
You know, okay, with We Happy Few. To me, that was one of the best things about the Microsoft conference.
Yeah.
That game, the demo, kind of reminded me of the setting of Portal. As far as saying, this is how you begin. Oh, no, I don't want this reality. I have to get the fuck out, and you got these obstacles to take care of.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of Portal a lot.
Well, you know what's funny is that you were asking for a sequel to Eternal Darkness. Where shit is crazy, and it's not exactly what it seems at first. And right when I saw that, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, this falls within that fucking vein.
It does.
I mean, that has to be hands down one of the weirdest. Well, absolutely not. That freaking, oh my God, the Kojima game. Oh my God.
No, that was just a trailer.
No, I know it was, but that was weird. A male having a baby, you know, have the C-section and umbilical cord, and I was like, you know, what the fuck, you know? That was intense, even though it was a trailer.
God of War really surprised me.
Not me.
What's up? Okay.
Not me, because we covered it on this channel already that we knew it was coming. You know, the Norse mythology and whatnot. We knew that was coming.
Understood, but the demo itself.
Yeah.
I'm
And it
talking
was
about the
playable.
demo itself, not the information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way that especially at the end of it, when he's trying to teach this boy here,
Mm-hmm.
you even heard him call him father.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He did that. And the way that they were thwarting off shit, but he's like, yeah, you know, hey, your deer is getting away. He was trying to beef him up to be a man. I wholeheartedly like, especially at the end when they finally killed the deer and Kratos kind of reaches out.
That was deep.
And the symphony was playing during that.
Yeah.
And
What was funny was
when he held back, because the boy kind of sat down like, yeah, I'm a man now. And Kratos was like, I'm proud of you, but you know
finish what you started.
And when I saw that, I was like, I am feeling that 100%. You can actually feel that. And the demo itself, it wasn't just an announcement. No, they showed gameplay and they gave a hint of story with it.
Yep.
I thought it was funny when they were fighting that one monster at the beginning that the boy shot
Oh, Kratos, yeah.
Kratos in the chest with that arrow, and he just ripped it out and and it went on. He's like, your deer's getting away.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
And that's why I'm like,
He wasn't mad.
No, he understood that the boy made mistakes or whatever, but no excuses. Let's finish our objective.
Yep.
And moved on to it. And when I'm sitting up there and I'm watching that, and I'm like, this is a pretty damn good demo. And it was gameplay. Somebody playing it.
That was the best thing about that particular one, and a lot of the demos that they did was that they showed that they were playable.
Right.
The big rumor about God of War is that a lot of people were saying that it was giving off Metal Gear Solid 2 vibe. that it might turn out that Kratos isn't the main playable character in that game. That it's probably going to end up being that boy.
Okay.
No, you know what? If we're going to speculate like that, I would say I give it one more game. I'll give it this game, and then the next game it will pretty much, or towards the end of this game. But anyway,
here's how I feel about that. And then we'll stop sucking God of War's dick. All right.
Hey, I'm not doing that. I don't care what you say.
I'm not doing that either.
Okay. Hold on a second.
Yeah, get that out of your mouth.
Okay. All right. Look, no, I mean the thing about that particular demo, and I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, if there was any way at all to go ahead and to sit there and bring out your big guns right at the very beginning, this was the example of Sony doing the equivalent of a fucking blitzkrieg. Yeah. As far as their conference press, it was like, look, hey, you wonder what we're up to? Is there something that we have in our back pocket? Is there something in our pants that we could pull out to go ahead and surprise you? Guess what? Look at this. All right, it's not even hard yet, and that's pretty much what they did. Yeah, and the fact that they made an effort to emphasize, hey, look, there's this guy over here. He's playing it. This is an actual playable demo going on.
Yeah.
The thing about that, a lot of people would say, so it was playable. That means, guess what? At this point, even with the game not finished, it looks like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's incredible. I'm talking
another thing that kind of Days Gone. Okay, they ran a trailer and then they did gameplay at the end.
Yep.
And I'm like, this fucker is screwed. There's no way. And they had the end of the demo the only way they could by motherfuckers just coming, and he didn't go down quietly.
Nope.
That dude, Days Gone was cool. Zelda was outstanding.
Let me go back a little bit. Before we just talked about Microsoft and Sony. I was quite surprised about the announcement of Quake. That kind of blew my mind. I was like, I wasn't expecting Quake. I was like, there you go. Because, I mean,
yeah, Quake.
Doom was released to critical acclaim, right? So it's actually really good. You should pick it up. But to follow that with Quake, like, damn, Bethesda, there you go. And it's called Quake Champions. And but the only thing is, though, I think it's only for PC, which is where it originated from anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that game is being made again. You know, the old, correct me if I'm wrong, Reverend, because wasn't Quake the godfather of arena multiplayer?
It was one of the first ones.
Yeah.
As far as
Unreal Tournament may have that claim as well.
or Counter-Strike as far as one of the big ones. But after the what Quake did was that when id Entertainment, before they were bought out by Bethesda and everything else, you got to remember their first-person shooter, their big identity as far as first-person shooters went was pretty much Wolfenstein and then Doom.
Yeah.
But when Quake came out, what Quake did was that it was one of the first-person shooters, one of the earliest ones that used a full 3D engine.
Yeah.
And it wasn't running off of polygons, which is where it's real big. It's huge claim to fame in this place in history goes about, because once they had that all ironed out, and then they had the 3D accelerators, you know, as a staple part of video cards for PCs, it automatically set the setting for, it was like, okay, everything on PC was going to go that fucking direction.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they led their way, and to continue on, Prey. I was, even though it was just a trailer, more or less, I was actually surprised that they're going to pick up Prey again, and the fact that how gloomy and it looks like the end of the world type of thing that's going on with Prey. And if you haven't played the previous Prey, that's another one that I highly recommend to pick up. And I was glad to see that franchise set in our wish list. You know, that was one of my main I want to see old IPs come back and reboot these franchises that were good and that deserve continuations. And, Quake was one of them. Prey was another one. Dishonored 2 was another one. I was like, yes.
What about the return of Crash games? Yes, they're being remastered.
Crash is a hit or miss for me.
And he's going to be put in Skylanders, and maybe they'll bring him back.
I mean, I'll be honest, and I didn't really play Crash Bandicoot. I think I played the first one on the original PlayStation.
Yeah.
But I didn't play the 2 and 3, so because Sony tried to push Crash Bandicoot as their mascot, to compete with what was it? Sega's Sonic the Hedgehog, Nintendo's Mario.
But that's why. Remember, Sega didn't have I remember when Sega didn't have a mascot at first, and then
you're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I'm not faulting them again.
Nintendo's mascot at first was a fucking robot that moved side to side. So,
I mean, what you gotta understand about the first 3 Crash games and why it's actually kind of significant is that the first 3 Crash games are early Naughty Dog games.
Correct.
Okay. After the first 3 Crash games, that's when the IP was kind of, after 3 was when it became obvious that Sony didn't want a mascot character. Mm-hmm. So what happened was that the IP ended up getting juggled between other developers, and there is a very stark turn in the direction that Crash as a series takes after the 3rd game, which is kind of and the funny thing is that there has been no other compilations or no other remasters out there, which I understand why people would be interested in. Granted, if all they do is a high def facelift and everything else, knowing Activision, they're not going to do much else other than rework the assets and all of that. You're going to still be playing a game that's almost 20 fucking years old.
Absolutely.
All right.
And the problem, the only problem that I think it's facing is whether it's going to stand the test of time is the problem.
The thing is that, with good, simple platforming design, I think the earlier Crashes are are more likely to stand the test of time.
And that's what I was saying. Like the first Crash, that's more memorable for me.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 7.
Resident Evil 7, it had PT written all over it. Although some of the guys from PT is one who's creating.
I was surprised that it was announced on Sony stage.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Well, no, the reason why it was announced on Sony stage was because the Sony version of it is going to have VR support.
But then that's another thing, too, with the VR. Final Fantasy 15 is going to have VR in it. A Batman VR game?
Yep.
Yeah, right when I started hearing Mark Hamill's voice, I was like, yeah.
You know what's funny about the final?
Okay, a Star Wars VR X-Wing mission. Okay, fine. At least those are taking VR to a place.
See, you're forgetting.
It makes sense to a point.
You're forgetting one game that impressed me too, was the Star Trek VR bridge.
No. LeVar Burton, if he makes like I said in my video, if he makes a Reading Rainbow game VR, fine.
No, I don't. I'm a Star Trek fan.
Hey,
so
okay. Look.
I did. I thought that was pretty impressive.
But okay, Star Trek, and them motherfuckers playing it, and it's like, all right, yeah, you're control the bridge. All right, fine. Is there going to be any other type of battle sequence besides you on the bridge?
Of course, man.
Oh, I have to. Okay,
it's
Call of Duty has been, but, however, what they did show, especially the one in motherfuckers outer space, I sat there. I'm like, I know this is fucking Call of Duty, but this actually fucking impresses me to a point.
Let me tell you something. Let me explain something to you real quick. Everybody was like, when they were seeing the Call of Duty trailer, like, yeah, this is badass. Then when they knew it, then when it was announced itself as Call of Duty, everybody was like, it was quiet. You could hear a fucking pin drop. I was
like, wait, what?
Yeah, I was like, see, judging a book.
Well, wait a minute. If you see something that's badass, and that's what I said, I was like, I'm watching it, I'm like, I know this is Call of Duty.
I knew it was Call of Duty too.
But I'm actually impressed by this. I am.
Oh, don't get me wrong. You're right. The space battle, that was good. I enjoyed that.
And actually going from another fucking spaceship and blowing that shit in, and I'm like, I know, and I kept saying in my head, I was like, I know this is Call of Duty.
Yep.
And I want to hate it, but I can't because this is actually pretty fucking good.
So let's touch on one thing. Bethesda VR, I wanted to add to this. The two games that I don't know how they're going to do Fallout 4 for the HTC Vive. That I don't know if I want to keep that VR on my head for that long. However, the Doom, the Doom VR, I'm all for that. That I could get behind.
One thing that actually
RPG and virtual reality, I can't get behind that. It's just
there's a lot of things that we
having that on my head.
There's a lot of things we can't get behind as far as virtual reality.
And what was that? Under Ubisoft, the Eagle Flight?
Nope. Done. Nope.
I was like,
no. This is what we liked, okay?
Okay.
Now, what I did like was South Park. You paused. What did you say, Gray Mouse?
No, I said I forgot about that one. That was the most hilarious subtitle in the world.
That was one of the biggest highlights of the Ubisoft conference. That I was like, this is hilarious. Maybe they took a little bit too long when they were doing the couch session about it, but the game itself, the idea of the game, the fact that they're fucking making fun of Marvel and DC at the same time.
Well, the subtitle had me rolling, talking about fractured but whole. Fractured but whole.
Taking both plots of the Avengers and making fun of DC at the same time, and I'm like, oh god, this is going to be hilarious.
Well,
the demo itself was hilarious.
The thing is, though, you need to play Stick of Truth because it actually goes right into right into the beginning of it is right after the Stick of Truth. Mm-hmm. So yeah, please play that one. That's man, and it's South Park to the T. I mean I was
Yes, it is.
surprised when what was that woman's name? The person that, anyway, you know, she dropped all these F-bombs, you know, fuck this and fuck that. I was like, damn, she
Everybody
don't
was
care.
dropping F-bombs, though. Everybody was doing what South Park needs to fucking be doing on their regular shows. But
Yeah.
I like that demo. That demo was great. I admit it.
What about the I really enjoyed the Ghost Recon Wilderness. That actually kind of
That was
surprised me,
cool, too.
that trailer. I was like,
that.
okay.
I like that. I like the fact that you have to work with motherfuckers in order to
Yeah.
accomplish this goal. Oh shit, I'm spotted, and they took care of whoever's spotted. Like, I'm like, damn, this is a pretty smooth operation.
So what are your thoughts there, the Reverend? You've been, me and Theme
Well,
been
he's been listening to us
overpowering you.
ramble.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead
You
and
know,
cut in, man.
I'll let
Say
you
your
guys.
stuff.
I'll let you guys go ahead and go ahead and do that. What actually impressed me is that, surprise, surprise, Microsoft actually made me interested in their fucking console. All right, and I'm not talking about the hardware shit, because that is a whole bunch of other
wait.
concerns that I will cover in a
Which
different video.
console?
Okay,
There's
That
a slim
will-
one.
that
Is there a
will
red
that
one?
will be covered
That's
in the
next.
following video.
That's
because
next.
Go on at length about a lot of that. Okay.
You know, one thing
But-
that I was really happy about with Microsoft was they didn't they didn't do much of a gimmicks this year, as in drop a car from the ceiling, you know, HoloLens. They didn't do none of that this year. So I was like, okay. So they traded dropping a car from the ceiling and HoloLens for 2 new consoles, you know, for the bookends
you know what?
of the conference.
You know
So
what? All right, with Microsoft, okay, I'll do that in the next video. Detroit,
yes.
look, this is a scenario game.
Well, here's the thing about Detroit. Detroit is no, that was PlayStation.
That's what I
That was
mean.
PlayStation 4.
Yeah, this is on
Yeah,
PlayStation, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is a scenario game.
Well, it's made by Quantic Dream, the same guys who did God damn it, I knew the other games like Heavy Rain and what was the other one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they did Heavy Rain and another one that was on PS3. That was both of the games were critically acclaimed. Where a lot of it is, yeah, you know, people are like, oh, it's just all Q2Es. Well, basically, there's a whole bunch of, with those particular games, they're very story driven, and it's very possible that, you know, if you decide to go ahead and play through, one decision, you know, made really early in the game will give you a completely different playthrough as far as the game goes.
See, the thing is, though, a lot of people were complaining about that was because it kind of had a reminiscence of Last of Us, because that was kind of
But
decision
The Last
making.
of Us is a great fucking game.
I'm just saying that it's like some people were saying that we've already played this. It's Last of Us.
Wait a
Because
minute.
a lot of the decisions that you make in that has direct impact on the story as it goes.
No.
I don't. Here's the thing about that. Okay, Last of Us, yeah, look, it had varying. There was some wiggle room in the gameplay scenarios and everything, but it was not to the same fucking micromanagement of the type. If
Well, no,
they're able to go ahead and execute Detroit, Become Human, correctly, where it was like, oh, hey, look, that one throwaway decision that you thought was just, you know, some random bit that you didn't even give 2 shits about. You know what? That's going to go ahead and if you make another decision otherwise, it's going to change the whole landscape of the rest of the fucking game.
Yeah.
You know, if they can sit there and they can manage that and make that compelling enough, I'm completely for it.
But do you think it would be compelling enough to play the game 5, 6, 7, 8 times through?
If,
The way that they showed it,
yeah.
it's not 5, 6, 7 times. It's more like 30 to 50 fucking outcomes at the end of the
If
game.
you look, let's say you have certain scenarios and you have like 15 decisions in each of them.
Oh yeah, I know.
Spreads out.
I mean, I was really impressed with that Detroit, that was very, and then like you said, I want to touch.
Motherfucker jumped off the fucking building with the girl. I was like, holy shit.
I want to touch on. I want to touch on Horizon.
Horizon?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I thought that the boss, the mini boss fight, was pretty interesting.
They put more into it. But
Well, no. The reason why I'm saying is that you have to actually think. You can't just run and gun and kill something. You got to actually, have a little bit of strategy into bringing that boss down. And I like that. I'm kind of interested in that game. Whatever she has on her hand that she can take over the mount or whatever to get that. It has very interesting gameplay mechanics in that game, and I'm going to pick it up when it comes out.
Most of the games that were shown, and some of the games that were shown that had real good potential. Okay, speaking of good potential, Recore.
That was one of the ones that
we finally got some gameplay.
Yeah,
that was one of the ones that interested me about Microsoft. Like I said, the one thing that impressed me most about Microsoft's press conference is that they finally given me a reason to give a fuck about the Xbox One. And I have not given a fuck about the Xbox One since even before it fucking released in 2013. I have not given a fuck about it since 2011. All right, because that's when the first rumblings of it coming out were announced.
What about Tekken 7 and that man?
Wait a minute. It surprised me that Tekken 7 is going to be going to Microsoft.
That
Xbox
really
One.
surprised me.
No, it does not. Not to me, because the thing is that if you sit there and you look at the sales for Street Fighter V,
they have to expand.
It doesn't surprise me at all.
Well, and I think that
Street Fighter V was a debacle. With Tekken 7, remember, Tekken was a Sony franchise through and through
ever
until Tekken 6.
Correct.
So, can we count the Game Boy Advance in it? No. The thing about it is with Tekken 7, and for Japanese motherfuckers to be announcing on this E3 for an American console, I'm wrong. I was wrong. I thought it was going to be a Sony PC thing. I was wrong.
Well,
I'm happy that it's going Xbox One for that.
One thing that's weird is that it seems like King of Fighters 13 is PlayStation 4 only. Street Fighter 5 was PlayStation 4 only.
Tekken 7 was supposed to be PS4 only and PC. That could change now. And again, I was wrong about Tekken 7, and I will take full responsibility for being wrong.
But one thing that really was the fluidity between cutscenes straight into the action. I mean, there was no loading time at all, huh?
What, with Tekken 7?
Yeah.
Well, Tekken doesn't really have a
Well, I'm not saying
having load times to it on any.
I didn't mean it as in load times. It's like there was no stop at all. It was just like it went straight from the story straight into the fight. You know what I mean? It wasn't anything in between. Dead Rising 4. We knew that was coming. I mean,
yeah, but it still looked good.
And it's a holiday themed one, so that's kind of interesting.
Like I say, it still looked good.
What'd you guys think about? I like the Sea of Thieves. That looks like a very interesting.
That's the next video for me.
Okay. Did we cover everything you want? What do you have, Reverend?
As far as the things that we liked, I mean, maybe there were other things, but this is from the top of my head. I mean, when I watched the conferences and when I saw what they were delivering and I saw the demos that they shown, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, Sony's conference, the way they did it, they didn't have just garbage talking. No, they were like, you want some games? Here. And that's what really impressed me about their conference. They didn't pause for any garbage. They didn't say controllers. They didn't say consoles. They didn't say, oh, guess what? You can buy our Sony TVs. No. They said game. Okay, here's our VR. Here's how much it costs. And here's what's going to be on it. VR game, VR game. And I'm sitting up there, I'm like, this is a gaming conference. You should announce games. You should show
I'm
games.
still interested in the hardware because that's the backbone that drives that.
So
That's true,
still
but
interested
all that
in the
information can be given elsewhere.
I like
Like look, we're in a technology age, right? We can actually do research as far as saying
well,
what the specs are. Look, we're here to see games and give us games.
being a two things I got. And this will probably close it up for me. Being a Pokemon fan from yellow, red, and green, or blue. I'm sorry. I was really glad to see some gameplay from the Sun and Moon. And I'm interested in some of the play and some of the gameplay. I'll probably definitely pick that up off the DS or the 3DS. My second thing is with Microsoft. I'm glad that they finally announced background music or custom tracks while you're playing video games. Finally, that's something that people have been wanting, and I mean since the original Xbox. And then the clubs on Xbox Live, I kind of like that, and looking for a group that's good for these JRPGs and these RPGs. But it kind of makes it into a PC, and we'll get into that on the next video. So, I mean, I don't know. Oh, Cuphead also. I mean, I got 1930 cartoon game, indie game, and that's pretty much for me. That's it.
I like where the directions of certain companies are headed as far as the games. Some of the VR stuff is still kind of iffy to me because it's VR and it's just a novelty gimmick at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
But they have to perfect it in order to get me interested. It has to be cheaper, and games have to be long. They have to last for a long time. They can't just be game demos. I can't just do 1 or 2 missions for VR and that's it. No, don't have me do the X-Wing mission for Star Wars and blow up the Death Star and that's it. Don't have that. Don't just have that and the fucking Ice Planet Hoth mission and the Forest of Endor. No, don't do that to me. Give me a fucking full-ass game with VR capabilities. If you do that, and if you have a big-ass library of great games in VR, whether it's Sony VR, whether it's the HTC Vive, the Oculus Rift, fine. Give us all that shit, have hundreds of games available for them, and have the systems that can actually handle that type of power, and make it cheaper, and then we'll fucking talk. Other than that, Microsoft, as far as their conference, even though most of the things that they showed was basically a piggyback of what they showed last year's announcements.
Well, I mean, Sony did the same thing.
They did pretty good. I'm happy that ReCore, because if they didn't show gameplay for ReCore, I would have tore it to bits.
That would have been a mistake. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I mean, Sony did the same thing, though.
Wait.
I mean, I think they both.
Microsoft could have been better, but then they could have
kind of copy and paste from last year.
Wait. That's what I'm saying. Microsoft was that for a certain point in time. They could have gotten better, but they could have been EA.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Bethesda.
That's the next video.
Bethesda did pretty good, and Ubisoft did pretty good. Nintendo, man, oh boy, damn it.
That's next video.
But out of all the conferences, I look again. Even though I have my own grades, my own individual grades, I do like the fact that certain games were shown, gameplay was shown, demos were shown. You know, they and like the Reverend was saying, you finally gave reasons to give a fuck about the Xbox One.
With me, for my final grade, with me, I think that that Sony had a great conference because games. But I think Microsoft had the better conference simply because it pretty much got rid of all the rumors. It was there was an S coming out, and it did announce hardware. But in the middle, the meat in the middle of Microsoft was that's in the next video. But just real quick, because we're running out of time, and the Reverend hasn't been able to say anything. But for me, I say Microsoft edges a little bit simply because the hardware, they got rid of the rumors. Okay, this is what's happening. And that's what was, you know, Sony was just straight games, and oh my God, that was just games. I can't games. Reverend?
But that's why I gave Sony an edge over Microsoft, because it's a gaming conference. And
well, it's a conference, though. A conference needs a. We'll get into that. Go ahead, Reverend.
E3 2016, just to wrap this up, to be completely honest, there's probably been the first E3 since around 2005 that I've actually been interested in and actually gave a fuck about. And I have to say that the majority of at least the big three, the first party publishers, actually gave me reasons to go ahead and look at their consoles, which was pleasantly surprising. I was expecting a lot of fluff, but there was a lot of substance. Now, was the substance all good? No, and that's the reason
never going to be all good.
Yeah, that's the reason why we're gonna have another video about this. But as far as it went, you know, I've always held the view that if I'm going to pick up a gaming console, if I'm going to invest in your platform, you have to have enough games for me to go ahead and make it worth my while.
Mm-hmm.
Since 2013, that hasn't been the case from Microsoft. Since 2013, that hasn't been the case from Sony, and neither has that really been the case for Nintendo, just to be completely honest. And what was shown this particular E3, I think I actually have reason to go ahead and pick one of these things up now. You know, and that's just the truth of the matter. Yeah, I'd love to go on in length. I'd really love to go on in length, but we're going ahead and we're winding down here. You know, that's pretty much our thoughts on E3 2016 in a nutshell. We're going to follow this up with another video about our thoughts about the downside of what we didn't like about E3. So go ahead and stay tuned and check that out. With that, again, we are the three middle-aged guys just bullshitting about nothing. We're going to cut our bullshit short right here. If you're so kind, hit the like button, hit subscribe, leave a comment if you think we left anything out. You know, we like that stuff. It starts conversation. You know, basically all we do is talk on camera anyways. We're good like that. With that, I am the Reverend.
The theme here.
And Gray Mouse 1. Games.
Yes. Once again, for the benefits of common sense, logic, and gaming, good-ass shit announced this year. Well, except from EA. And we'll get to that in the next video. Credits.